Hey Gold Digger, Kimberly Olson here, back for another episode of Hashtag Get Lit, where we crush your business in less than 10 minutes. And today we're going to talk about how to create a culture of winning with team incentives. I see so many people missing the mark on this or just not doing it. I have had a lot of success with team incentives, retention, and being able to obviously get huge results in my business. So I'm going to share that with you today and more. Stay tuned. Gold Digger, for this episode of Hashtag Get Lit, we're going to talk about creating a culture of winning with team incentives. It is so important to understand these concepts because a lot of times leaders have red personalities. If you don't know anything about the color personalities, I will put a link below of my favorite book. I'm actually going to give you a link to the book. It's in the show notes or the description of this video. I'm going to give you the color personalities, the scripts, because you don't have to read the whole book to get this. And the scripts are valuable because it'll tell you how to talk to certain color personalities. The summary is I'm number one yellow and then red. So yellow is hug, love, relationship, just all about caring and helping people. Red is fire, power, bossy. They love winning. They love making money. They love incentives. And blue is they're really great recruiters because they're always talking, always sharing, just very social butterflies. They love fun stuff like trips and incentives and parties. And then green is the more analytical. They like numbers, they like data, they like facts. They take longer to make decisions. So that's the summary. So get that book below because it will give you the actual words and language. And for real examples, it's designed for those in network marketing. So you can use it if you're any kind of marketer. Anyways, so with the color personalities, leaders tend to typically have a lot of red in them. Not always, like I said, I'm yellow and then red, but I do have a lot of red in me. I have an opinion about everything. I want things to be a certain way, and I love leading. So red are natural leaders, and they are very aggressive. Can be very just. This is the way it needs to go, and they also are very typically achievement oriented, very successful. Now, 80% of a typical, in a average network marketing team, that's what we're specifically talking about today, but you can use this for any kind of team that you run. The makeup is 80% of those people are want to make $500 a month, maybe $1,000. They just want to be a part of it. They love having a seat at the table. Well, if you've got a red personality who's like, sales, 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 go after the goals, get the trip, you're isolating 80% of the people. And what happens, and I saw this firsthand because we, a team I launched with, we had a lot of red personalities. I mean, it was nuts. Like we were rank advancing like crazy, huge numbers. And at the time, the company was throwing out like 5-figure bonus checks. So it was like just insanity. Well, we had a lot of people that started coming to us, the 80%ers, saying, I feel like I'm disappointing you. I'm letting you down because I'm not, hitting those ranks. So that's when I realized like, oh my goodness, like you really, really can lose a lot of people if you don't understand this. So if you're getting frustrated because quote unquote, no one's doing anything, that is because you're expecting them to be like you. So the first thing you want to do is you want to let go of that expectation, but you also want to get that book and start to figure out what are the personality types of my people and what are their goals? And their goal might just be to cash flow a vacation for their family or pay their car note every month with their income that they're making from their side hustle. And that's all they want. They don't want it to replace their full-time job or make 6 figures like you do, okay? So that's really important. The second thing is you want to set up 2 types of incentives, okay? So 2 types of incentives for your team, in my opinion, and you want to structure it where you have a balance between the 2. Every month, I would do one activity-based incentive, and I would do one that is results-based, okay? Activity and results. Activity always gets you to results if you're consistent. So it's going to award people for doing the work. But a lot of times leaders will only do results oriented and then they isolate most of the people on their team. Okay, so if you've tried incentives and they haven't worked, this is probably why. So with the activity-based types of contest, and again, plan ahead, plan your month out. Inside of Gold Digger, I'll also put a link for that too. Inside of Gold Digger University, which is my monthly membership program, We actually are doing retention right now at the time of this recording, and everyone is getting a Trello board with examples of incentive contests to run. So you could literally pull that out and go, cool, I'm going to grab those 2 for the month of June. Okay. So you want to grab 2 a month, 1 activity, 1 result. For the activity one, I want you to ask yourself, what could I do to reward activity? Is it you do a booking blitz? Everybody who books, actually books are real, a 15-minute Facebook party, online event, living room local, whatever the way your company runs. Everyone who books an online event, for sure, on the calendar, it's happening, they get an entry into the drawing. Everybody, you could do something like everybody who does a curiosity post, everyone who does a referral post. So a referral post is where you ask your customers to post for you. You give them the post and tell them what to do, and then you handle the leads that come in. That's activity-based, doing a great curiosity post, referral post, maybe a story sequence. So if you had a sneak peek coming up, you could provide everybody with a sample of the story sequence to promote the sneak peek. A sneak peek is basically an opportunity event. And say everybody who posts this story sequence or makes their own is going to get an entry in. My favorite are recruiting blitzes. Those are my favorite. So I usually will do like a 3-day. I like to do them on the weekends. I don't know why, I just do. And so a lot of times I feel like it's a good time for people to work on their businesses too, because if they have full-time jobs, they can kind of focus on a little bit more. So with the recruiting blitzes, I will do points. So for every person that they share with, or every new person that they connect with, every friend request, every new follower, they get points. For every person that they approach and introduce themselves and say, hey, I'd love to get to know you better, tell me about you. And then when it's their turn to share about themselves, then they say, yeah, this is what I do. And they share what they do. So exposing that prospect, all of those people get more points for exposing. Everybody who gets people into the Facebook group, they get more points. Notice how they're doing stuff, they're taking action. They're not necessarily making sales, but they're doing something. Okay, that's what you want to do, is you want to get people into activity, and you also want to help them create those good habits. You could also do go for no. So you could say every time you get a no, you're going to get a point. And you can also do some of this in a team setting on a Zoom and kind of make a contest out of it. The other side is probably more obvious and easier for you, but that's the results-oriented incentive contest. So this is going to be for every customer sale you get, every new customer, every team member. The bigger the thing that they get, so a rank advancement or a new team member, the higher the points. I like to do scales and have like 3 different levels. That way everybody feels like, oh, I can do that. I can get a new customer. If you just make it like everybody must sell $10,000 this month, again, you're gonna isolate most of the people on your team. Oh, this is another one that I've done. I just thought of this. This is really, really cool. So when you're really starting to get a team going and you're trying to get those leaders to emerge, what I'll do is a special training for everybody who gets to a certain amount in sales. So this is a results-oriented incentive contest, but it's amazing. So make it easy. Make it like everybody who gets $1,000 or more in sales for the month gets a special training on, like we did, they get a special training on DMO and how we as the leaders on the team run our day. And I let a couple people contribute to the training. So we did a Sunday night private Zoom link just for those people. And it was amazing because there's a lot of people that were maybe at 800 in sales and they pushed to get to that 1,000 mark. 1,000 isn't huge in sales, but if you get a bunch of people doing 1,000, not only does it help your overall volume, but it's going to help those people feel like they did something, they achieved something. They're more likely to be invested to build off of that for the month afterwards, okay? So this should definitely give you plenty of ideas to get started. The key is have a activity-based and a results-based every single month. That way you can hit both personality types, all the different personality types, reward people for their activity and the results. And before you know it, you're gonna look up and be like, oh my gosh, I'm creating real retention, real culture. Everybody feels successful on the team, and that is the name of the game. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did subscribe, there's a little button right there. You can click on this. If you take a screenshot of you watching this, tag me in your stories at the Goal Digger Girl, GOAL on Instagram, and I'll shout you out on my page as well. And until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. Bye-bye.